And we have a very interesting moment in Saint Bernard. You say Bernardus Bernard, Bernard si Chiaravalle. He wrote a book called De Precepto et Dispensazione, on the norm, on the prescription and the dispensation. On the beginning was a monk who had professed a certain rule in the monastery and said, in this monastery I can't really execute my law because they are not the condition. He wanted to go out there, to go in another place. But so the answer of Bernard is that when you profess, what you promise is not the rule. You're not promising the rule. And he employs the juridical term spondet regulam. Spondio is a juridical term, meaning taking a juridical obligation in a certain, you become responsible in this sense. But Bernard says, more precisely, what he promises is to that his form of life will live according to the rule. So it's not promising the rule, he's promising to live according to the rule. It makes this very subtle difference. But in the first case, he uses a juridical term, spondet regulam. In the second case, say just to live according to the rule, to make of his life, to make his life according to the rule. So you see that he's saying in some way, you are not juridically obliged to this. You just promise to live in a certain way, not to do this or do this. So there is no content in the profession. The only content is that your form of life must be that. It doesn't mean that you have to do precisely this peculiar act. So you see how they try to dejuridalize, to oppose the act of a profession to a juridical contract. It's not a sponsio, which is a juridical contract. It's something different, even if it's not will not precise, remaining a little vague. In this we have many instances of this also in the analysis of the vow. But what I wanted to underline again is that what happened in monastic life is this undetermination of life and rule. And in this we have many instances of that. For instance, I quoted before the commentary on Franciscan say regular vita means that just it is the form of life that is in question. But we have, for instance, in a canonist, a passage in which he says, referring to a monastic order, the Grand Mountains, that he says the literal book, according to which contains the constitution of the order, they do not call it a rule, but a life. Non regula appellatur sed vita. They call this book a life. And therefore they should not be called regulares, but vitales. Vitals, can you say?
Vitals.
But
Vitals.
Yeah. But not regulares, said vitales. So you see that in some way the rule ceases to be legal, and become vital. Not regulares, said vitales. Not regular, but vitals. So there is in the whole of the history of monastic orders this tendency to towards an indetermination of the ruling life. And this, the problem is that this can be understood in two different ways, like in the two exergo of Rabelais and Sartre. You can understand this in the sense that the rule, is completely coinciding and abolishing the life, or on the contrary, that it is the life that coincides with the rule and abolishes it. So you can read the two. It's a field of tension, as you saw, and you can read this in two different ways. Yes?
I keep going back to the word habit, and how, in the original sense, the word habit being a way of life becomes habit in the second sense, not just in a dress, but in perhaps a practice, even a compulsion or an obsession. So that,
but also dress, a meaningful dress, a spiritualized, a moralized dress. Yeah.
Right. So that, but in the second sense, the habit, in the original sense, as a way of life, is lost. In other words, a habit can become a self-imposed rule. We can't break a habit. We become addicted to the habit, as if it becomes a rule. But when that happens, the form of life in it is lost. The life in it is lost to the form or the habit.
Yeah, I think yeah, if you take this, stick to this notion of a habit. Habit is an ethos, an attitude, a way of living. If it is completely normalized, ruled completely, it's true that it's no more an habit. It's no more an habit because, and really, this is right. This is one of the way you can look to the monastic life. It can be seen as an habit, the way we live. And we have a lot of texts. Later we'll have texts, instead of rules, later we will have texts called consuetudines, habitudes. And this text will be, we live in this way. I wake up at 8 o'clock, so it's a consuetude, a way of living. Written, but a habit in the sense of a habitude. While, of course, there is also the other aspect, because in other texts, many rules, you can read them as prescriptions. You will do this. The monk will do this. And that's the problem of a correct understanding of what is at stake in monastic life. Yeah, it could be this. And one can say, if the habit is lost in the first sense, you just have a juridical normalization of life, body of law, body of rule. But there is a kind of subtle dialectics between it. I think that the realities are in this image of the double jaya. There are both forces, both tensions are contained in monastic life. The one towards the rule, and one towards the life, the habit. So the second one will produce a habit, the other one will produce a code, a rule, code of law. Yes?
There's been an interesting elaboration of the concept, and it's wonderful to see the background in the work of Marcel Mauss. He refers to habitus as dress, but also behavior as in terms of what's integrated, like the way one carries oneself, the carriage of the body, physical habits too, not just the dress. Marcel Mauss has extended this notion of habitus very profoundly, and there is it's interesting to see the connection historically with that. It